Welcome to the Armchair Pundits post-match review. It's a United fan here, as you know. Your boy Monts. Yeah, it's a bit of a sticky one, I'm not going to lie. A game like today at the Vitality Stadium, it wasn't a confident one going into it. I'd imagine the players, the fans were probably a little bit on edge, knowing that, playing against the Cherries, it's going to be a challenging one for us. They've got a high pressing style of play. And realistically, with how lethargic our players have been this season, it will probably prove that a lot of mistakes will probably come to the surface as we go on and see that that's probably how, one of our goals were conceded. Last season, if I'm not mistaken, Bournemouth took 4 points off us. And so far this season, they've already taken 3. So this game, for me, had a draw written all over it, looking at the stats. But the eye test, my eye test is pretty good. It had a loss written on it. We started out a little bit, I would say, I think we started out a little bit shaky, only because no one really wanted to hold the ball too much. There was a couple of runs off the fullbacks, but nothing with real intensity. The only two people that I could say that were looking like they wanted to grab something out of this game, for me personally, was Bruno and possibly Garnacho. I mean, Garnacho was back in his bag of, I'm in it for myself, I'm not crossing the ball, in the first half at the very least anyway. But I think he kind of grew into the game and he started to realise that he had to put the ball in the box to give us another option. Bournemouth just done their normal thing, high press, high intensity. I think Evanilson, you got Kluivert, you got Semenyo, and they got another kid up in the midfield as well. That's kind of really good. They were on our first and second touches. They weren't letting anything run loose, and they won the high press, even down to the keeper. They were closing him down. So already for me, that said, if we're not ticking the ball and we're not, doing the phases of play that we know, dropping the centre mid and peeling it off for the wing back to run on and getting the 10s involved, then we were going to struggle to kind of retain possession and give Bournemouth a real run for their money. A few defensive mistakes kind of led us to where we ended up 1-0 in the first half. From that point, I don't really think we looked like we were going to get anything out of the game. The problem that I have is that, when you look at the bench, you want to have some real game changers or 1 or 2 game changers, you could bring on and really, take the risk versus reward steps to kind of get us back into the game and possibly win it. But all our game changers are on the pitch or on the injury bench. So, or in the injury list, shall I say. So yeah, that was going to be a challenging one for us today. I'm going 1-0 down against Bournemouth. I definitely think that the red card helped us, although Bournemouth still looked like they were trying to press us somewhat and kind of almost countering us. But second half, we definitely had a lot more possession. And I believe, had they have had 11 men, the game would have probably been different. I imagine they probably would have stuck with the 1-0 and been able to overcome the pressure that we was applying, but they didn't. And we continued applying the pressure. If I'm honest, when Cheeto came on the pitch, he looked like a threat. He almost handcrafted a goal for himself and kind of dug a shot out of nowhere. Keeper safely saved it. But again, you got to be in it to win it. So, kudos to Cheeto. I want to just celebrate for Hojlund, his 100% strike rate, 1 shot, 1 goal. Yippee. If you're gonna go, if you're gonna use that as one of your, put that on your CV or part of your portfolio, I'm a top dog striker. Look at how I played against Bournemouth. Good for you, mate. We need a striker and we need one ASAP. We need someone that these boys can look up to, because although Hojlund looks like he has got something in him, as in he's got the ability, he's quick, he's strong, he's got a decent turn of pace. He's just not prolific enough. He scored 1 goal in, I think, over 18 games in the Premier League. That's horrible. you know. I think Garnacho's the next one that's closest to him. But again, that's been the story of our season at the minute. So, yeah, frustrated as it is. So, the game ended 1-1. And I feel like that was a fair result in, the grand scheme of things. I mean, I need to celebrate Bruno again because he was trying pretty much on his own out there to try and strike up something for us, create, an opportunity for us. But, there was no cutting edge to any of the rest of the players on the pitch. Shaw coming back was looking a little bit sprightly at times, but you could see that he was struggling to get to match fitness. So again, that was another tough ask for him today. Bruno hitting the post was definitely, something that I think, again, celebrates his leadership in, some of our darker times. But again, hitting the post is just not enough. We need someone that can hit the onion bag, and I think Bruno knows that, but he can't do it all, but he does try. So yeah, kudos to Bruno, man. He's one of the, if not my man of the match in terms of on United side anyway. I also think we need to get a keeper this season. I don't know if anybody else is with me out there, but could Onana have done better with the Semenyo shot? Should he have gone with his legs instead of trying to turn and save it with his hands? You could argue that all his weight was on one side, so that's why he had to turn. There's loads of excuses you could give, but to be fair, Onana's got a very unorthodox way of goalkeeping, so I don't think there's anything in there for me quality as a goalkeeper. I really don't. I mean, I know some of the people out there might say that, there was a little deflection from Casemiro, but again, it's like it was a slight nick, man. I'm just getting the same thing from every game. I've got no confidence when he's in there. So yeah, game ended 1-1, and I feel like that's what we probably we didn't even deserve the 1-1, but I think it's one of them things. We needed the points. I think coming into this game, I think every fan had on their lips, let's just get 3 points and get over the 40-point marker, because it's becoming past embarrassing now. Liverpool are going on to win their 20th league title and become the best team in England almost officially with their, 6 Champions Leagues and their now 20 bloody Premier League titles. And I'm having to sit here as a Man United fan and almost digest the fact that they're now probably top of the food chain in England. I mean, really? What's it come to, man? I don't even know if I can wear a United top of current. Now, this is what I've come to now. You see what I'm wearing now? Celebrating the classics, all these classic, where the spirit of United was at. I just can't really bear to watch them at the minute. It's becoming laughable because coming into this game, Bournemouth have their sights on getting into Europe, and we have our sights on getting to the 40-point marker and resting players looking forward to Europa League so that we can get into Champions League potentially. What even is that? How do you summarize that? How do you nutshell that and say to yourself, this is how times have changed? It's just, you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the league to see United these days. So yeah, it's a bit of tongue in cheek when we're doing that at the minute. I mean, the vitality seems to be the fortress that we can't overcome at the minute. So we just kind of got to look forward to next season, I guess. I think all the fans could see that, there was no intensity in the game today. And I'd argue that, all the players on the pitch had their sights, their eyes on, the Thursday game, trying to steer away from injury and also just get some match minutes in their legs so they're ready for, what Bilbao have got to throw at us, and kind of see if we can just, get something out of that first leg and then, just take it home in the second leg pretty much, or even finish it off in the first leg. But either which way, it's going to be a tough 2 games. I think that's it for me. And, just analysing, the game for today. I think the things that I've got in my mind coming out of this game is the players that we need. I'm looking at a Carl Walker-Peters. This is my opinion. I'm looking at a Delap, and I'm looking at a Cunha. That brings some versatility in defence in the wide position. That brings a little bit more mobility, more tenacity, a little bit more intention in the forward position, and also in the midfield. You could argue, you know, a little bit more creativity to take all the pressure or some of the pressure off of Bruno, the skipper. But outside of that, I definitely think we need to get some midfielding legs in there, you know, to help out and see if we could sort out, you know, the dud that we got up front, Hojlund, in the pre-season period. But listen, guys, let me know your thoughts. I appreciate all your feedback. And I just want to thank you for your time. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. And hopefully I'll see you next week when we get 40 points. Peace.